This is like a liquid defibrillator. We had a nice haul. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the best haul that I think I've had in years. Years? Yeah. Yeah, years. I'm gonna try not to complain too much. I need this coffee though, I'm so tired. I got the mic up. I gotta put the mic up. And record. What was I watching the other day? Oh, people's reaction to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Oh my God. I tell you what, I'm an old man. I realize that. I'm an angry, grumpy old man. Okay? I accept it. But I don't know what the fuck these kids are doing. I really don't. You got these kids falling to pieces over the one kid was crying when he found out that Ridley was going to be one of the characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I can't contain it, man. I can't contain it. Fighters against one another. This is what I wanted.
And all I could do is think to myself, here's a guy that doesn't know how to work a welder. And that's why this country is falling apart. So how about that? Old Kaja, Bithead 1000 has spoken. I need this coffee so bad right now. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So, man, I tell you what, it's amazing, guys. Listen, have we all lost hope for the garage sales? A lot of us have, haven't we? Huh? But I got news for you, man. Do you gotta believe? I don't even know if you have to believe. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that you have to believe, because I didn't believe this particular Saturday morning. I woke up like I normally do at about 3:15 to do the show, and I had been doing side jobs all week. All week long. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Between working a regular job, doing side jobs, it's like we're talking 16, 17-hour days. It's like your whole week turns into a blur. I used to be able to do that shit in my 20s without even blinking my eyes. But when you're in your 40s, when you hit 40, man, it's like everything turns into a blur. And time just goes into like this hyperdrive. It's like, oh, we're almost in the middle of June? Or the end of June? I'm still in April. So I had my alarm set. I woke up to do the show. I was going to do an unboxing video. And I couldn't muster the horsepower to get out of bed. Couldn't do it. And I said, all right. I said, I won't do this show, but we'll go garage sailing. This is so fucking boring. All right. So basically, I didn't want to go to the garage sales. I was laying on the couch with my son. We were chilling, watching monster trucks on TV. It's like 7:45. I start dozing off. I'm like, it felt so good. Oh, it was like I was getting it. I got a full 8 hours sleep, and then I'm sitting on the couch, and I just wanted to doze again. And it felt. You ever when you take a nap and you're laying on the couch and you're drifting off, and it feels so good. Oh. And then something just grabbed me and said, no, you got to get out there. I think it was, I looked outside and I saw how beautiful it was outside. And I remember how many garage sales there were the week before because it was absolutely gorgeous. And something just reached into me and grabbed me and said, shook me and said, come on, get out there. And that's what we did. And oh my God, the day, I swear to God, it was like the strangest garage sailing adventure that I've ever been on. For one, I didn't hear one person say, oh, everybody's looking for video games, like I normally do. And it's at a ridiculous level right now. None of that. It was like none of the sharks came out this particular day. It was like all the sharks were at home taking that nap, like I was about to. Ready to give up. Oh my God. Anyway. One of the first garage sales I went to, I asked the guy, hey, you got any video games? He goes, I got a GameCube with some games. He comes out. To my surprise, it's a GameCube in the box, which is very nice to see. And 2 extra GameCube controllers, which is really nice to see, especially because these are in a really good shape. I mean, a lot of the times you get a GameCube controller and the yellow thumbstick is like worn down to a nub. It looks like somebody, like for some reason, when that material wears off, it looks like somebody was like picking their nose and using the thumbstick. It's all sticky for some reason. Anyhow, 2 really nice GameCube controllers. GameCube in the box. I said to the guy, I said, oh yeah, how much you want for it? He goes, $20. I open up the old wallet. I had $100 and $15. I open it up. I say, hey guy, I got 50. Would you take 15? Unless you can break 100. And he gives me the old like the eye roll. And he goes, all right, give me the 15. So here we go. It's pretty standard GameCube, I guess. The purple one. Magenta. Okay? And 4 games. Pac-Man versus Pac-Man World 2. Midway Arcade Treasures. This thing's worth it just for Sinistar alone. You ever see? Isn't that Sinistar the one where you're fighting this like big evil battleship and the thing is like yelling at you and whatnot?
Beware, I live. Beware, coward. Run. Beware, I live.
Oh my God, what an arcade. What an arcade. Yeah, the thing's like insulting you or something. Alright. This is interesting. The Legend of Zelda Collector's Additional. Collector's Edition. Promotional disc includes 4 games, not for resale. What's the story with this thing? What does that mean, not for resale? Look at this. It's got The Legend of Zelda on it. It's got Ocarina of Time. Not Ocarina of Time. Zelda 2. Somebody said to me, what did they say to me? Somebody left a comment. Some fucking comment about me pronouncing something right. I don't know. Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, and Majora's Mask. How about that? That's not too bad. And includes playable demo of Wind Waker. How about that? I guess that maybe that was what the promotion was all about. And All-Star Baseball. How about that? Okay. Very next garage sale. Alright, I don't have any of this in order here. Let me just... Very next garage sale. I saw this from my car. It was on the grass. It was a bin of GameCube games. Now, whenever I run into GameCube games, it's like, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 GameCube games, but I've never run in my life into a bin of GameCube games this big. This is like, it's like 30 GameCube games here, something like that. So anyhow, I said to the lady, how much for the games? She goes, oh, $1 a piece. So I wind up, I didn't even count them up. In my head, I'm thinking there's got to be like 30 here. So I said, would you take $20 for them? She's like, sure, take them. So here we go. I'm going to run through these. I mean, honestly, what I know about GameCube games, you could fit into a thimble. So I'm just going to run through these here. Lego Star Wars. Freestyle. Freak Style. Alright. The Ant Bully. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. Ice Age 2. Open Season. Rainbow Six, Lockdown. Chibi Robo. That's interesting. Hot Wheels Velocity. Smashing Drive. Crash of Bandicoot. How about that? Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. KO Round 2, The Kangaroo. Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory. Call of Duty, Finest Hour. The Hulk. The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Super Mario Sunshine. SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie. Sonic Mega Collections. Wow, that was a nice game to have for the GameCube, huh? Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. That's That's nice. Simpsons Hit and Run. Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime Echoes bonus disc. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. King Kong. Resident Evil 0. Mega Man Network Transmission. And Zapper, One Wicked Cricket. Okay. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27. It was nice to find a lot of GameCube games. There you go. Moving along. This was a Polish garage sale. All right. Polish people there. All right. When I see Polish people, I roll my eyes. They never throw a good garage sale. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. In my experience, that's what happens. But I got news for you. I hit at 2 Polish garage sales, so I'm gonna have to change. You know, I might have to change my idea about that. There we go. Remember when you used to find on the floor, I remember I found my first porno magazine in a lot. I don't know about you guys, but there were a lot more lots around when we were younger. It seems like every fucking piece of property has a house built on it now. But when I grew up, we had lots. And let me tell you something. Some of these lots we converted into bike tracks. Oh my God. There were bike tracks everywhere. That was a big thing. BMX, and to be a BMX rider in the 80s, it was a big deal, baby. And what kind of bike did you have? Oh my God. I think I've talked about bikes before, but back in the 80s, I mean, my bike was a Spartan, okay? That I got from a flea market. I remember when my parents bought me the bike. I thought it was the biggest deal ever when I got my first BMX bike. I thought my parents were really like going out of their way to get me something special. Little did I know they probably paid next to nothing for this bike. But when I got it, I thought it was like I had a Spartan, man, and nobody could tell me otherwise. You know, we would talk about our bikes. All my friends had cheap bikes. Nobody had a really good bike, so we would brag about our bikes. I got a Spartan. What was some of the other bikes? Anyhow, all you wanted was a Diamondback. Diamondback's a very watered down name now. Oh, it's a Diamondback. But back in the day, a Diamondback or a Red Line. Ooh, baby. But the King of Kings or Harrow? Oh my God. My friend Scott had a Harrow freestyle bike. I don't think he ever took it outside. It was in his room, like a decoration. two things. It was either freestyle. It was like your bike had to be either a freestyle with the pegs in the front and the pegs in the back. I know that's standard fare now. You could buy a bike from Toys R Us. You get the pegs in the back, the pegs in the front. No. You had to add the pegs. And I remember wanting the pegs so bad. And my father, "You're going to bend the axle." I was like, "What? You're going to bend the axle?" All my friends had pegs on their bike. I never saw one axle bend. Just wanted pegs. You could ride people on the front. You could ride people on the back. It was like a fucking taxi in the Dominican Republic. Oh, but my dream. And the mushroom grips. Remember the mushroom grips? The real mushroom grips. They were like soft. And like foam. And then they had donuts. And then you would put donuts on them. Which was like, you'd have the mushroom grips. And then you had these big foam donuts that they weren't foam, but they were like really squishy. The donuts would rest against your hand. You'd put them on the handlebar grip. And they would rest against your hand, and it was like, it was absolutely doing nothing for you as far as doing tricks are concerned. But you had to have mushrooms. Those were the handlebar grips, and a rotor. The rotor allowed you to spin the handlebars without fucking up the brake cables and whatnot. It was like this disc system that would allow you to use the brakes and spin the handlebars around infinitely. And I remember the rotor became popular. Like everybody was like, in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Pee-wee knew these BMX kids, and one guy was like, "Hey, Pee-wee," and he's doing a wheelie, and as he's doing a wheelie and riding, he spins the handlebars. And it was like, what? What is this guy, some kind of a magician? Anyhow. But my dream bike, and then you either had to have Z rims. That was the big thing. Z rims. They were like ultra lightweight. I don't even know if they were. Or if it was just like the cool kid on the block had Z rims, and he through propaganda, he convinced everybody else that you had to have Z rims or you were a nobody. Because that kind of shit used to happen too. Oh my God. And then you had to have the checkerboard. You had to have the checkerboard foam. Remember the foam pads that you would have on the handlebars? And you'd have the foam pad on the main bar of the bike, so if you fell off you wouldn't crush your dick. But it wasn't cool to have that pad on. It was just cool to have the handlebar pad on. And then you also had the pad that went around the neck too. But nobody would have that because then you couldn't show off your rotor. Or it wouldn't work with the rotor, so nobody put that one on. So you just had the pad that would go on the handlebar. Oh. And it had to be checkerboard. And some kids would have the blue and white checkerboard. Oh. But the bike of all bikes, I'm telling you, Pro Line, right? Did I say Pro Line? I don't know, I'm getting old. And mag wheels. Yeah, you either had to have Z rims or you had to have mag wheels. And I got news for you, mag wheels were where it was at. Because spoked wheels, they would bend on you. You know, you'd come off a curb hard or something like that, or you go over a jump, and you'd bend your spokes. The wheel would have like a wobble in it, and it'd be constantly scraping on the brakes. That was the one thing that BMX bikes were missing back in the day, V-brakes. V-brakes were like the greatest, because let's face it, BMX brakes never worked well. Or you constantly were fucking with them. What were those, cantilever brakes? They never worked right. But when V-brakes came out, oh my God, V-brakes gave you like that huge like mechanical advantage. Oh my God, it was like the most incredible braking system. But that came later with like mountain bikes, when mountain bikes became popular. But when it came to BMXs, the king of the hill was the Hutch Trickstar. Oh my God. Give me a Hutch Trickstar with a rotor, mushroom grips, and the fucking blue and white checkerboard pad for the handlebars. And pegs front and back. And then put the fucking, put the fucking baseball cards with a clothespin on the back to make your bike sound like a motorbike. Oh my God, that was a thing to do too. The baseball cards, it was always like, yeah, what was it, Lee Mazzilli? Or Gary Carter? I would always put the Gary Carter one on the bike because I couldn't stand Gary Carter with his big shit-eating grin on all of his baseball cards. Oh my God, you'd open up a pack of cards and it was like, you're looking at, action shots like this, guys, like Don Mattingly always had like an action shot, he's catching a ball or he's hitting a ball, and then you get to Gary Carter and he was like, a big shit-eating grin all the time. Put Gary Carter on there. Well, Lenny Dykstra. Put a Lenny Dykstra on there. Who the fuck cares about the Mets, right? Oof. Anyhow, where do we go here? Alright. So the guy had a big pile of N64 stuff. To my amazement, you know what? You know what's exciting about garage sailing now? It's nearly, to see video games out there that are worth anything, like worth any of your time whatsoever, to actually see them on the floor in a box and be like, oh, it's shocking. It's stunning. 99% of the video games that I find at garage sales now, I have to ask somebody, and they have to bring them out. But when you walk up and you see like a box on the floor and there's like decent video games in it, it's like, oh, it's like shocking. It's like you get a shock down your spinal cord. It's way more exciting than it used to be because it's such a rare thing to happen. Anyway, he had this bin of N64 stuff, and it also had he had 2 Game Boy Advances on the side. And I said, how much for the Nintendo stuff? He said $25. And I said, how about if I take everything? The Game Boy Advanced. No, how about if I take the whole thing? He said $30. And I said, okay, it's a go. And this is very exciting because I haven't even looked in here yet. That's the great thing about N64 games. When you see them like this, you don't know what they are. So let's check them out together. Number one, it's got this goddamn, I don't know what this is, Super Pad 64. I don't know what this nonsense is, but it's got a some type of memory card in there, I guess. Alright, we'll check out the Game Boy Advances first. Here we go. There you go. It's like a pink one, I guess. It's in okay condition. Ah, it's just power's on. That's nice. I guess a SpongeBob SquarePants edition. Then it did the little flash and then turn off. I think it needs to be charged. With SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. I got a couple games. It's interesting. It had a couple Game Boy games in here, but no sign of a Game Boy. Tiny Toons Adventures 2. Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper. And Pokemon Gold version. Here's the Nintendo. Here's standard Nintendo 64 with all the wires. Copy of Super Mario 64. I don't know. I look in here. Come on, yeah. When I think about durable systems, I think of the N64. I mean, come on. Is there one out there that doesn't actually turn on? I always give it up to Nintendo for that, because I mean, when you battle a Turbo Duo, like my Turbo Duo was reliable. I had my original Turbo Duo for 22 years, and is that a bullshit story? 22 years? No. Yeah, so it's a bullshit story. I had it since '93. From 93 till 2005? I don't know, you do the math. But the thing always worked, no problem. And the battery, I never had an issue with the battery either. The battery had a 20-year lifespan. I guarantee you that battery still works today. Anyhow. But the Duo that I have now, the Japanese Duo, oh my god, I'm fighting it tooth and nail just to keep it alive. So I do appreciate the Nintendo 64 for its reliability. How about that? Good things to say about the Nintendo 64 today. Here we go. Joystick. This is thumbstick's alright. Controller pack. Alright. And the games. What? How does these Famicom games in here? The Adventure Island 4 Super, 1998. Wow, look at that. Wow, Famicom games. If this is a legit game, man, this thing is so cheap. Look at how cheap. Look at the mold of the plastic. Is that a real... was there an Adventure Island 4? From what I understand about it, the character from Adventure Island, what's his name again? Whatever his Japanese name is, they named him after a guy in Japan who has the world record for being able to, like, tap the fire button on an arcade, I believe. And apparently that gets you, like, legend status in Japan. Oh, get me over to Japan. And I want to see this guy tap buttons. How do you have a world record in tapping a button? And then become like, you know, like get this guy out to the latest parade. Get him on a float to wave to people. Oh yeah, what did he do? Oh, he tapped buttons really fast. There you go. Almost name a game after him. Name a character after him. There's another Famicom game in here. This is so odd because I didn't get... I mean, if you have Famicom games, you must be some sort of gamer, or maybe not, or maybe they got these over in Poland. Because they were right off the boat. Super Tom and Jerry. I love how it hates super. Everything's super. Super Tom and Jerry. 1998 as well. Excuse me. And that's not even Tom and Jerry. I don't know what's going on here. Something fishy with these. These must be pirate cards or something. That ain't Tom and Jerry, Buster. Anyhow. Alright, let's go through these. It's Pokemon Stadium 2 with like a multicolored card. I don't know what that's all about. Weird. Oh, and thank you very much, Blockbuster Video, for the most intrusive fucking label you could put on a goddamn video game. What the hell is going on here? And on the back, too. this clear sticker that consumes the whole label. Good luck trying to get that off. It's an impossibility. Blockbuster with their motherfucking shit. Look at that. Turok Rage Wars. Perfect DAC. Bomberman 64. Wow, that's a filthy cart. Look, at somebody had the wherewithal to put like a little end label on there. Super Mario 64. We already saw. I already showed you that. Xena, the Warrior Princess. Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter. Castlevania, man, that's beat up. Castlevania. It's ripped right there. What does it say? Castlevania 64? How lame. What a lame name. If that's a 64. I'm not sure. Spider-Man. Rocket. Robot on Wheels. Pokemon Stadium. And here we go. Lego Racers. So there you have it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a dozen. A dozen N64 games. Okay. All right. Oh, honorable mention. Oh, by the way, okay. I come up the driveway. The guy's got two signs. I go up the driveway at this garage sale. The guy's got two signs. One is an Xbox for $150, an Xbox 360 with a bunch of games, and one has a bin that's labeled PlayStation, package deal only $100. So right away, I'm thinking to myself, this is a wash. I'm not going to find anything at this garage sale because this guy's out of his fucking mind. But it just so happens that he had this. He had this DS stuff out there that was in this bin, but the PlayStation stuff was next to it. I don't know. He had this bin of DS stuff in there, and I was super curious about how much he wanted for this. So anyway, it was a father and his young kid. The father was helping somebody else. The young kid was like 16, I would say. I need more coffee. So I say to him, hey, how much do you want for the DS stuff? Just thinking, I'll get this laughable price and then I can walk away from it with no problem. And he goes, the kid's like, he's like over here like this, like kicking rocks. He goes, I don't know. He goes, $10. He wasn't slow or anything, but he's like, I don't know. He goes, $10. So I'm like, $10. So I reach in my wallet. I'm like, I wanted the 10. I already knew what was going to happen. I didn't have the 10. I had 20, but I knew he was going to have to get change from his father, and I knew it was going to sound the alarm. So now I'm freaking out. So I said, what am I going to do? I hand him 20. I said, you got change for 20? And he goes, sure. And he goes, Dad. And I'm like, Dad was so busy talking to somebody else. He goes, Dad, you got change for 20? He's like, the guy's like almost like out of the corner of his eye, like, yeah, here. Here's 2 10s. The kid gives me the $10 back. I grab the box. I start heading down the driveway. I hear the father go, you sold that for $20? And the kid's like, no, I sold it for 10. His father goes, "You let that go for $10?" And I was like, the hairs on the back of my neck went up, and I just started speed walking to my car. I couldn't run because my instinct was to run, but I couldn't run because it would have looked too obvious. So my neck like froze, like I couldn't turn and look back, and I just started like speed walking. It must have looked like you remember when Michael Jackson used to do the front moonwalk? It must have looked like that. All the way back to out to my car. I opened up the door, I put it in the car. I mean, I got in the car, and God help me if I didn't spin the tires leaving there. Am I proud of what I did? No, I'm not proud. But am I happy? Yes, I'm very happy. I mean, those are the breaks, baby. Listen, you're going to run a garage sale, you better be on top of things. Alright? So anyway, what do we got in here? It's I don't know why this is in here. PSP. Is this the manual that came with the PSP? Wow, this is beautiful. You open this up, what's the manual in there? This thing is thick. A lot of paperwork in there. Anyhow. You have this, which is full of a bunch of loose games. I don't know, some Game Boy Advance games in here. Rescue Heroes. Da blah blah blah. Don't know what that is. Some type of thing for a PlayStation. I don't know. But there's like I don't know. There's a bunch of DS games in here. All right. There was this Nintendo DS case with, I don't know, there's some games in there too. But here we go, there's Nintendo DS in there. Let's see if it turns on. You're gonna turn on. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, alright. DS. There's a, you gotta put your name on it, don't you? Oh my God. This is the guy right here. The guy that had the name on his Game Boy was the guy that you, on the school bus, you put the cigarette down his sock. That happened to my buddy Jude once. They stuck a cigarette down like the side of his sneaker. And I guess it takes there's a bit of a time delay, so you stick the cigarette down there and there's a bit of time delay before the cigarette burns through the sock. And then all of a sudden you see Jude's head hit the ceiling of the bus. Alright, anyhow. Yeah, that works. Game Boy Advanced SP. There's an old school Game Boy DS in there. There it goes. Okay. For some reason there's a PlayStation adapter. This might have been for the PlayStation that was next door to it. Oh boy. Anyhow. And then we have some DS games in here. Alright, here we go. Here's Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, brand new. Brain Age. Madden 09. Wacky Races, Crash and Dash, Cars, the Spiderwick Chronicles, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. Mario Kart DS. Deal or No Deal. Who the fuck was buying this? Mom? Who was buying this? Spectrobes Beyond the Portals. Lego Star Wars. Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. Touchmaster 2. Who can't get down with a game of solitaire, huh? It was always those... I remember I had this one job where I was helping this guy who was a financial advisor. And I was like, you know, I was like a paper jockey. And boy, oh boy, as soon as this guy shot out of the office, I turned on solitaire. Solitaire is a shit game. Like if you're at home, nobody's popping on solitaire. But when you're at work, for some reason it turns into this amazing game to play. And when you beat it and all the cards start jumping around, oh, so satisfying. So satisfying. Alright, here we go. Another Touchmaster. Midway put this out too, huh? Oh boy. SmackDown versus Raw 2008. Pokemon Platinum version. Pokemon Pearl version. Pokemon Heart Gold version. Need for Speed Nitro. Kung Fu Panda. And Need for Speed Carbon City. Carbon City? No. Need for Speed Carbon Own the City. Alright. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21. 21 DS games. Alright. Honorable mention. I went to this woman's house. She had this PS2 Slim that stinks. This whole bag stinks so bad of smoke. I'm like, what was she? I think she was using this as a fucking ashtray. It smells horrendously of smoke. And it's absolutely filthy. I gotta see if there's nothing inside. It's incredibly filthy. I mean, look at on the inside. That's how white it's supposed to be. It's so dirty. Anyhow, she had this thing out there. I'm like, how much you want for it? She's like, $5. I didn't. What did I have? She wanted $5 for it. But I didn't have... Oh, I didn't have any change. So she goes, just take it. Take it. It has a couple of controllers in here. All the... I mean, if you could see in here, it's just that this whole bag stinks like smoke. It's stinking. It stinks up the whole shed when I walk in here, and I'm not sensitive to cigarette smoke. I love it. I grew up around cigarette smoke. My parents used to smoke. My grandparents used to smoke. My uncles used to. We used to go over my grandparents' house. Everybody used to sit around the table, play cards, and smoke cigarettes. All the kids running around. Like some people, like, oh my God, it smells like smoke. These clothes, they smell like smoke. I like that. I like the smell of smoke. Like when smoke gets in your clothes, a lot of people are like, oh, it's so disgusting. I love it. It reminds me of like the olden days. Or even when we used to go to like bars, when we first started going to bars, everybody was smoking. It was great. Oh, you don't remember the shopping mall? You used to go to the shopping mall? Cigarette butts all over the floor. And gum. People just used to spit gum right onto the floor. That shopping mall, and nobody used to clean it up. So you'd see these black spots everywhere, because when you spit gum on the floor, it stays like, if it was pink, like bubble yum, it stays pink for about like a couple hours, and for some reason it turns black. Like I guess from people stepping on it. You used to you go to the Sunrise Shopping Mall, and there was cigarette butts all over the floor. All the clothes must have smelled like smoke. Because you were just allowed to smoke. It's incredible to think of now, like how different things are. That was the smell when you would go into the shopping mall. Smoke. And everybody was smoking. Now, if you went into a shopping mall smoking, they would probably pull a gun on you. The cops would show up. It would be like, what, 5 stars in in Grand Theft Auto, like cops like rappelling in through the ceilings to try to apprehend you. Oh, you guys are getting your money's worth today. Anyhow, there was a PS3 controller in there for some reason. You know, like, a DualShock 2, I mean, there you go. That's it. Guys, you just tuned in to the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. And you better believe that. With a 4K face! We'll see you next time.